You've been preparing for the IELTS speaking test, practicing a variety of topics, then in the test, suddenly the examiner asks you a question that you haven't prepared for. How would you deal with it? Well, today is all about something every IELTS student fears at some point: dealing with unexpected questions during the speaking test. I will be sharing 4 simple tricks that will help you stay calm, think quickly, and give a confident answer even when you've been dealt that surprise question out of the blue. Let's start by acknowledging something. It's completely normal to feel anxious about unexpected questions. You've prepared for weeks, maybe even months, and suddenly the examiner asks something that seems out of the blue, like, what are the environmental benefits of urban gardening? And you think, what? I wasn't ready for that. This can be frustrating, especially if you've spent most of your time preparing for common topics like family, hobbies, or work. But here's the good news. You don't need to know everything. What's more important is your ability to handle these questions smoothly without losing your composure. So let's break down some tricks that will help you do just that. First and foremost, when you get an unexpected question, the key is not to panic. If you freeze up, your fluency and confidence will take a hit. So instead, learn to buy yourself a little time to think. Now, you can do this by using filler phrases like, that's an interesting question. Or, I've never really thought about that before, but, or, let me see. So these phrases give you a few extra valuable seconds to organize your thoughts without leaving awkward silences. It also shows the examiner that you're not panicking, you're handling the situation calmly and confidently. You can practice using filler phrases during your preparation. Get used to inserting them naturally into your responses so they're there when you need them during the test. Here's a secret that will make those unexpected questions much less intimidating. You don't have to give the perfect answer. You just need to show the examiner that you can speak fluently and clearly about any topic. One great technique is to pivot the conversation to something you're more familiar with. Let's say the question is about the topic I mentioned earlier, urban gardening, but you know nothing about that. You could start by acknowledging the topic and then shift to something you do know. For example, you could say, urban gardening is becoming more popular, especially in cities. Although I don't know much about it personally, I think it's similar to how people in rural areas have always grown their own food. So from here, you can steer the conversation toward familiar ground, like farming, maybe sustainability, or even healthy eating. So when you're practicing at home, challenge yourself to answer questions on unfamiliar topics. Focus on finding connections to things that you do know. This will help you become more adaptable in the actual test itself. The third trick here is maybe a surprising tip that many IELTS candidates don't consider. It's okay to admit if you don't know something. Let's say you're asked about a topic you genuinely know nothing about. Maybe something like the future of artificial intelligence in healthcare. It's perfectly fine to start by saying, I'm not very familiar with this topic, but I imagine that AI could improve healthcare by helping doctors diagnose diseases more accurately. By acknowledging your unfamiliarity and then sharing a general thought or idea, you can still demonstrate your ability to think on your feet and communicate effectively. So when you're preparing for the IELTS speaking test, don't just focus on the answers you know. Practice coming up with thoughtful responses to questions you're less comfortable with. Remember, the test is actually about communication, not being an expert in every topic. And finally, one of the biggest traps IELTS candidates all fall into is worrying too much about perfection, finding the right words or having the perfect answer. But in reality, the examiners are looking for fluency and coherence more than perfection. So when you face an unexpected question, don't get stuck searching for the perfect vocabulary. Instead, focus on keeping your sentence flowing smoothly. If you can't think of an advanced word, use simpler language and keep talking. You'll lose more points for hesitating and stumbling than for using more basic type of vocabulary. Remember, you can record yourself answering IELTS questions and pay attention to how smoothly you speak. If you find yourself hesitating a lot, focus on speaking more continuously, even if you need to simplify your language. So, to sum up, handling unexpected questions in the IELTS speaking test doesn't have to be stressful if you're prepared with the right strategies. Here's a quick recap of what we've covered today. Stay calm and buy time. Use some filler phrases to give yourself a moment to think. Pivot the conversation. Use what you know to steer the conversation towards familiar topics. Be honest. If you don't know something, acknowledge it and offer a thoughtful guess or opinion. And focus on fluency. Keep the conversation going smoothly, even if you need to use simpler language. Remember, the IELTS speaking test isn't about being an expert on every topic. It's about showing that you can communicate clearly and effectively. And by practicing these strategies, you will be well equipped to handle whatever the examiner throws at you with confidence. That's all for today's episode of the IELTS Speaking Fix. I hope these tricks help you feel more confident about handling difficult, unexpected questions in the IELTS speaking test. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, stay calm, stay confident, and you've got this. Until next time, keep practicing and good luck with your IELTS preparation journey.